This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, tell me. So I think so in your course, you're covering the Linux basics, right? For example, Linux basics is the module one. Second one is you're going to covering the DevOps operations, DevOps, right? Second one is DevOps is second module. Maybe third one is AWS. Maybe if you would like to start or if you would like to add one more new model, you can able to go with this particular, next model actually. So every class or every model, so we are creating, this is model 1, model 2, model 3, model 4. In the same way, in your entire group or entire batch, or this particular batch, it may have the different kind of models. Okay, these models will you just explain with us, you just explain with Sushmita, so that she will creating these particular models. Okay, for example, in models 1 there are subtopics are there. This is for example topic 1. Okay, so this is topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4, topic 5, topic 6, like this. Every topic, date as well as date and topic name, date and topic name, date and topic name. Okay, so this is actually class recording. If you click on this one, the students able to get the recording here itself. Okay, so they don't need to panic about everyday class recordings or date and topic name. They don't need to search for it. Okay, they don't need to go for search for the what recording I need to practice, and so they don't need to look for each and every video. Okay, so they have all videos with the name as well as date, so that they can, whatever the class they missed it or whatever the class they want to recollect it, so they simply go with this particular recordings. Okay, so for same topics, for the same topics, if you're providing any kind of documents, so the date and document you can just provide it, so that she will able to go for upload into the documents here itself. Okay,
Okay.
clear. So this is the way you can we can manage your recordings as well as documents. Okay, so every time students no need to message to us. Okay, so sir, I missed this particular video, so can you please access me to give me another batch. So they won't ask any kind of questions like that. Okay, simply they will go with this particular playlist, and whatever the class they missed it, they will go for that particular recording, and whatever the material they want to be accessed, simply they will go and check that particular click on that particular document, and if they want it, they can easily download it. Okay, but the video recordings are not downloaded. It can easily view option only. They have only view option, which is not downloaded. Okay, but if they want to access, first of all they are must be our students. So how we can giving the access for them? Okay, so here people are there and we would like to go for add the people. So these are my students actually. Okay, so we are giving access for the we just click on it and we can give that mail id. Okay, we are giving that particular mail id, and they are getting the some kind of notification, and they need to click on that particular one, and they need to set their password actually. So we are just giving the credential for the mail id, but the password are setting by the students only. So every anytime if they want to access it, so that particular mail id, whatever the password they are created themselves, so with that of those particular credentials, they will able to go for access it and access it. Next one is this particular canvas. We are providing the mobile app as well. Okay, so they can download this particular canvas playlist into their mobiles, and they can access with their mail id and password what they have created by the time of accessing we are providing it. Clear?
Clear, Anjal. So who is going to handle this? Smita
So
or
this
Renu?
everything will handled by the Sushmita. Okay. See, based upon this one, you will cooperate with us. Okay.
Okay.
Got it right. So maybe she missed it. Like so topic name she missed it. She will message. So what is the topic we discussed for today? Okay. Or before asking her, you just give that some specific name. Okay. Today topic name is this one, and yeah, just this is the materials we need to provide for this particular. Okay. topic. So you can providing those particular documents and materials what they want to be shared to the students. Instead of sharing the documents to the students, we are providing the everything into this particular playlist only. Okay.
Okay, Anjan.
Yeah. Yeah. So from today onwards, we can start from the first. Okay. So that what we can do actually, so we can creating the proper playlist, and or else for no, for easy access by the system as well, I am creating now. Okay. Uh, Start new course and hmm. So this is AWS DevOps batch. So this batch name is ADS DEV. Okay. And 001. So just create it. We are just created, and let me go with AWS and DevOps images. So I'm giving the some logo for this one. Just mm, okay. Yeah. So this is the AWS DVE 001. Okay. And the batch start date is was today's date. I'm giving it, and so and I'm not giving it this moment. So if they want to give some any kind of description, we can provide it. So we are updating the course, and I would like to publish it. If and only if I publish it, so that we are able to access it. Okay. Yes. Just go on again dashboard. Will show you where this particular playlist was created. Yes, right. So this is the playlist. You just click on it. Once if you click on it, so the model. What is the model name, Sai Kiran?
Today's module.
No, the entire this particular model. It's a main model. Okay, module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. Right.
Okay.
So there is
Yeah, we can.
Linux,
Yeah, Linux basics.
Linux basics or Linux administration.
It's not an administration. Linux basics for DevOps. Okay.
Basic Linux
So
basics for
commands are
DevOps.
required and whatever the process are required for DevOps engineer. Actually, I'm covering all these parts. Okay.
Okay. So this is module 1. Okay. And I would like to go for create one more module. So, okay.
So you can create one module called Git.
Git is second module, 002. Git is second module, right? Git
Yes.
or Git any other Git or Hub or Git only Git.
Git and you can mention Git and GitHub.
Git and GitHub. Okay, this is second module, right? So what
Yes.
about next one?
Third one will be Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Jenkins.
Okay. Yeah. Fourth one will be Docker.
Fourth one is Docker. DevOps right?
Yes, yes. And can we modify this, Anjan? Because I need to include some other topics as well. Like before going for Jenkins, we have one topic called Maven. Okay.
Maven is the separate module, right?
Yeah, it's a separate module.
Yeah, we can.
We can cover it in Jenkins topic itself. That's not an issue.
So we can edit also. So 4 is update and Docker is 5, right?
Yes. Third one will be Maven.
Third one is Maven. So MBA VEN, right?
VEN, yes. MAVEN. Not IN, it's EN.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maven, okay. So if you want to move it, you can move this one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fifth one will be Ansible.
Already fifth one is Docker. Sixth
Sorry,
one.
and sixth one will be Ansible.
Spelling please. 006.
Yeah, 006 Ansible. ANSIBLE.
ANSI.
BLE.
BLE, right?
Yes.
Ansible. Okay. So seventh one is
Seventh one we can cover Kubernetes.
sorry,
Kubernetes. Okay.
Kubernetes.
Yeah.
Okay. So KUBER or BBR.
KUBER. NETS. TS.
NETS. Kubernetes. Okay.
Yeah. So these are all main topics, Anjan, and subtopics will be
In DevOps, right? In
DevOps.
DevOps. Okay.
Yeah. And also we have Terraform. Either I'll be teaching it or Gautam will teach it because it's an infrastructure tool. It's more related to AWS. Okay.
Okay. So the AWS topics are different again. This is only DevOps topics, but
Yes.
what you are explaining. Okay, it's a DevOps
Yeah.
related information. Again, we have another module which is AWS. The DevOps AWS will part taken by the Gautam, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what you can do now, Sai Kiran, you can start your class. Okay, you can feel like this is the first class. If the students are the first class, okay, if they are come for the class this today only, we can start explain from this particular class only. Okay, I mean this is your first class. You can feel it. Okay, so from today onwards, you can whatever you're explaining that we are going to uploading here itself. And so okay, all the best and thank you so much for spending the
But
time
one more
here.
doubt.
Yeah.
Already we have covered few topics. Okay.
You can forget about what you covered. Okay, you can start from the even if you covered, you can start explaining here itself. Okay.
Sorry, I mean, do you want me to continue with the flow or?
No, don't continue off your flow. Okay, you can start again from the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
From scratch.
Yeah. Even they have a knowledge, doesn't matter, but you can start from the first again. Okay.
Okay. And one more thing, Anjan, which language are they comfortable? Because when I asked students like what I heard from Gautam and students are like they are saying we are comfortable with Telugu. So what do you suggest?
See, Telugu I'm not suggest anymore, but sometimes okay, but every time is not good. So they need to be habituated with English only. So go with English.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me share my screen again.
Yeah, sure.
Today we'll do the basic questions.
Guys, Priyanka and Harikrishna and Srikanth, make sure that if you are facing any kind of problems, your point of contact is Sushmita only. Don't no, so don't irritate or don't need to don't directly interact with the trainer. Okay, he was busy with their works. Okay, and make sure that you should follow the some kind of rules here. Okay, so and every time you already know it, right? Every class it should be recorded and we are uploading here. You have to practice. And next one is every day we have the practice session. Make sure that you should available your time and come for the practice session, and you need to share your what you learned from that particular day. If you're not following these particular rules, and I won't help you anymore. Okay, yeah, so Saikiran, you can go ahead your class. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Saikiran. We'll talk now over the phone call. Okay,
Sure. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Sushmita, so please give the permission to this.
Yeah, given.
Okay.
Yeah, Priyanka, is my screen visible?
Yes, I can.
1 minute. So, good morning, everyone. Actually, we already covered this session just for the video purpose, and I'll be explaining it again. So, today I would like to explain like what's happening in the software industry. Okay. So, for example, let's say uh, as a software engineers, we are going to develop an application. So, we need to know the end-to-end workflow, like who is doing what. So generally, I mean, there are two companies. Like first thing is product-based company, product-based organizations. Second one is service-based organizations. So in product-based organizations, generally, like companies like Amazon and Philips, they make their own products. Okay. For example, Philips, they have their products like CT, MR. CT means CT scanner. Actually, when we go to hospitals, we can check the CT scanner. Okay. Likewise, they have MR scanner if they want to scan any like brain tumor related issues. Okay. So when it comes to Amazon, we have different products, right? Like Amazon Web Services, so AWS account, and one more thing is Amazon Shopping website. So likewise, the product-based companies, they have their own products like Amazon Shopping website. Okay. So service-based organizations are like Infosys, TCS, and Wipro. Okay, so they will get a project from client. So here the client will be either some banking company or insurance company. For example, let's take HDFC Bank. Okay, so a senior person from bank, either manager or some senior person like director or something like that, not very senior. So they will be having like we call them as client. They'll be interacting with the software company and they'll ask us to develop this application for their bank. Suppose they have multiple customers. For example, they'll ask us to create multiple features. Okay. For example, their requirement is first thing is accounts and deposit. Okay. They are asking us to create accounts feature. Second one is investment feature. Third one is loans feature. Fourth one is insurance feature. So one person from client like bank will approach you like for example if we take it HDFC, they'll approach you saying that we need one application that the application should contain all these four features, and also we need this application in very short span of time. Okay, so short span of time in the sense like within 3 months or 4 months. So if you want to develop this application within 3 months or 4 months, earlier in 90s, in 1990s or in 2000s, it's not possible because we don't have a DevOps methodology. Okay, so for developing these applications, software industry has followed some approach. Okay, that is called software development lifecycle. Okay, so what is software development lifecycle? When we are developing this application, they'll follow the phase by phase mechanism to design and develop and test high quality softwares. Okay, like in order to deliver this product to client, software industries they followed step by step mechanism so that they can deliver qualified software content. Okay, qualified application. Okay, so for this purpose they have three methods. First one is waterfall method, second one is agile, and third one is DevOps. So in 1990s and early 90s, they used to follow this waterfall method. Okay, first we'll go with the flow, like how they develop applications in our organizations. Okay, when like TCS or Wipro, any companies, any service-based companies, when they when they get this project, first they need to plan it. Okay, who will be there in organization? First person will be architect. Okay, and second one manager. Third one team lead. Okay, and this is the hierarchy, and in the second grade we have developers and test engineers. These people are from development stream. And we have ops team as well, operations. People like database administrators, DBA, and system administrators. And DevOps and AWS engineers. So likewise, we people come under operations team. Okay. So what happens in the application development lifecycle? So first, we need to plan like which software needs to be used and which technology we need to use. Okay. So for that purpose, who will be planning it? Architect. Architect will plan which technology stack we need to use, what is the budget, and infrastructure. How many servers we need to use. Okay. So like this, they will plan everything and they will hand it over to developers. So they will schedule one meeting that is called CAB meeting, change board management. Okay. Sorry, change advisory board. We'll call it a change advisory board. So what they will do is they'll explain all these application features and the requirements from the client to the developers. Depending on the developers will share the work. Okay. First, one developer they may work on accounts, and the second developer they will work on investment, and third developer they work on loans. Likewise, they will segregate the features based on their availability and skills. Okay. So once this is done, like the planning is done, they will be handed it over to developers. What they will do? Developers will write code. Okay. What they will do? They will write code either in Java language or in Python or in .NET. Okay. So once the code development is done, like they need to build it. So they'll build it and they'll build it using Maven tool. Okay. Maven is a build tool which we use in DevOps. It will be used in other manual process as well, not only necessary in DevOps. Okay. So once the build is done, it will generate jar or var file. Jar means Java archive. Var means web archive. So what is this jar file and var file? First, if for example, let's consider like a developer is writing code in Java language, Java programming language. So if we give this raw code to any customer, for example, here customer is nothing but a client, okay? So or the user who is using this application. If we give this code to customer, will they be able to understand? No, like they don't know like what to do with the raw code and all. So they need an application which is user friendly. For that purpose, we need to build the code. Okay, we need to build it and then we need to test it. So building will be taken care by Maven. So suppose for example, if we take Java programming, what will happen? The program will be compiled and it will be packaged and it will generate artifact in this format. Artifact is nothing but this jar and var. Okay, so this jar and var will deploy in one application server. Then we will be able to see this application in the web. Okay, like HDFC Bank and whatever the features are there, we'll be able to see these features on the web. So then what happens? So they written the code and they deployed the application on the development environment. They are feeling that it's a successful. But how we should know? Like we need to perform some test, right? For that purpose, the test engineers they will identify the bugs. Okay. What test engineer will do? They use some technology called Selenium. Testing, it's a testing software, and they'll do some functional testings, JUnit testings. and some kind of regression testings. Okay, and they will identify bugs. Bugs are nothing but the errors in the code. Okay, so once they identify this code, once they identify the bugs in the code, what they will do, they will report it back to the developer. Developer again, he will work on that feature, and then again he will correct the code, and again he will start the build. Okay, so then it will come to test again. So once the testing is successful, once the bug is fixed, then it will be released into release branch. Okay, so we can consider Nexus is a artifactory management tool. So what this Nexus will do, it will capture the var or jar files. So whatever the raw code that we developed, like during this build phase, this Nexus will be, what is it, that output will be stored in this Nexus. Okay, so then what is the next step? We need to deploy this application. Okay, where do we need to deploy? Here we have 4 environments. First environment will be dev environment. First one will be dev environment. Second one is test environment. Third one is staging. Fourth one is production. Okay, so development activities will be done in dev environment, and all the testing activities, like once the build is successful, not successful, like once the build is done, developer will hand it over to the test engineers in order to check if there is any bug. So this is all these things will be happening in test environment. So what is the next environment? It's staging environment. Okay, staging environment is nothing but once this artifact like jar and var is generated, we need to test these artifacts in one pre-live environment. What I would say, like pre-live environment is before going to production. Production is nothing but a live environment where our users will be using applications. Okay, production is nothing but a live environment. So when it comes to staging, staging is nothing but it's a pre-production environment. So what is this pre-production environment? Before going to production means before the user using application. So we need to test the features, all the features. Okay, how we will do that? So they will create one mock account. For example, let's consider this account sections. Developer has developed some features like account section and the investment section. What they will do is they will create one account and they'll transfer some money. For example, 100 rupees or 100. So they'll check like if the status is properly showing that or not. So they need to identify this. If they identify any issues, again what will happen? They will inform it to development team. Developers will again work on it and they will do the build. They will do the build and they will send it to testing engineers. So again it will be sent to release repository. Okay. Then it will go to deployment. Okay. What happens in the deployment phase? We will deploy it in a production environment. Okay. After everything is successful in the staging environment, we will deploy it in production environment. But before going to production, there will be certain parameters. First thing will be we have to get approval from managers, client, and architect. Okay. So then once this approval is done, like architect will approve it saying that okay, our application is working as expected and everything is fine, then we are good to go to production. So what is production? Production is a live environment We'll deploy this application in production, and it will come to users. Okay, like you and me, we can use this application. Okay, everything is fine. Uh, this application is deployed in production. But before deploying this application, we need to have some perform some operations. For example, let's say, yeah, minus. So if you take this image, here we have testing is done. So ignore this monitoring phase. Deployment is done. Next thing will be operations. Okay, you can check this image. So next thing will be operations. What will happen in the operations? See, for example, our application is deployed in production environment. We are getting huge response, and we need to scale up our services. Like for example, it is designed for 1,000 users. Expectation is 1,000 users, and we say that 10,000 users are expecting it to use. Then we need more servers. In that case, we need to scale up the infrastructure, and we need to deploy the next version of this application. All these things will be handled in operations environment. Okay. So we deployed our application. That's fine. Suppose, let's say, for example, it is working fine. At particular point of time and someday, we face some issue. Okay. Sometimes we will say like we get 400 error when we open any web application, right? 400 bad requests like that. So what will happen? Application sometimes it may go down due to server load or something like that. So what we need to do is we need to monitor this application. For that purpose, we have some tools like Hagios and Grafana. So using these tools, we'll monitor our application. What they'll do is these applications, they'll internally look into the infrastructure, like how many servers are there, okay, and what is the CPU, what is the RAM utilization. Is this application up or down? Up means in the sense it is running or not. So like these kind of what is investigations that these monitoring tools will do, okay, and this is the overall workflow which is followed in complete what is the software development lifecycle. This is not only specific to DevOps. This is specific to what do you say each and every software development lifecycle. So earlier, before DevOps came into picture, there were like two models. First thing is waterfall model, and second one is agile model. So what happened in waterfall model? Software here, it is developed with an idea that it's going to be stable for many years, so that the entire software would be delivered in one go. So what is the meaning of it? So for example, client in earlier days, like people client used to come to the software companies, and they used to set up some time frame, like we need this application in 1 year. Okay, so we have a ample amount of time. Okay, we can develop this application. So then what software companies used to follow is developers, they will do the development work for a couple of months. Okay, three months, for example, to develop these features. What is it? Accounts feature. They first in the first month they will develop this accounts feature, and second month the investment. Likewise, in suppose for development team they take at least 3 months for developing all these features, and once the development is done, they will share the entire what is output to the test engineers. Test engineers again they used to work for a couple of months, and again what they will do, they will say find out the errors and they share these errors to development team. So likewise, this cycle happens. So after development and testing, it happens, and again the application will come to operations. Operations team and the person who is deploying in production environment. Okay. So when it comes to operations, it used to take more time. So what happens during this time? Suppose other banks like SBI or any other banks, they come up with a new feature. Okay. They came up with a new feature like mutual funds. Okay. And HDFC, they think like this feature is very good and we need to incorporate this feature in our application. So we need to approach our company. Okay. Again, they'll come to our software company and say that, hey, I need this feature. Please incorporate this in our application environment. What people, what software development team will do? They'll say that, sorry, actually, our development activities are done, but we can incorporate this feature in the next cycle. Next cycle happens in the next year or something like that. So what happens here? The development was very slow, and the customer's requirement may change. Like like new features should be added to the existing application. So um, for this reason, this model was like outdated, and the next thing is agile development. When it came into picture in this software development lifecycle feature methodology, what they used to do is, for example, account section is there, investment section is there, loan section is there, insurance is there. So they used to segregate in the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks. They used to build development build accounts and investment features, and they used to give it to testing team, and the release will happen within 3 weeks or 1 month. So within 3 weeks or 1 month, customer will be able to get one feature. Okay, so one or two features in the 3 months span. Like users like you and me, we can get this application up and running, and we can use this application. We can create our bank account or something like that. So what happens with the agile development methodology? Everything is good. Development team is doing very great work, and they develop the feature very fastly, and they handed it over to the operations team to deploy it in production. But yes, we have some issues like the environment or the infrastructure in the development environment and the operations environment is not same. So there, people used to face so many issues. Okay, so what they done, like they say like in the next 3 months, these people will come up with one more, two more features. Okay, for operations, it is difficult to handle first two features only because they need to monitor it and they need to scale up in the sense like if the application feature is good, we need to increase the servers, right? So all these activities, it used to take months. So again, there is no proper understanding between development team and operations team. It used to take more time. So that's why the DevOps came into picture. Okay, what's happening in DevOps methodology? Okay, so DevOps is nothing but it's a bridge between a development team and operations team. Okay, here the development and testing and the deployment, everything will happen within hours. Okay, so I would say like we have companies like Amazon or Flipkart. For example, let's say Flipkart. For example, if they in websites like Flipkart, if we get any issue, they will act within span of minutes. Okay, so they'll identify the bug and they will build it, they will test it, and they will deploy it in production environment. So it will happen within a span of what do you say, hours or minutes. How they will be able to do it? They are all following DevOps methodology. Okay, what happens in the DevOps methodology? This planning, coding, they'll write the code, they'll build it, and they'll test it. Everything will happen. But when they write this code, okay, we need to get the WAR file or jar file, right? So we need to integrate all the tools. Like for example, let's say here in the development environment, they use Git for managing the code, and here for building in the sense for generating var or jar file, they use Maven, and for testing, they use Selenium or JUnit. For the release purpose, they use Jenkins. For the deployment purpose, they use a Docker or AWS. Okay, and for operations purpose, they use Kubernetes. Okay, um, like scale up the infrastructure like that, or Ansible. And for monitoring purpose, they use Nagios. So what will happen in development environment? Sorry, I mean the DevOps environment. So developers, they used to write the code, and we need some safe place to store our code. For example, let's say this code should be accessed by development team and testing team, and sometimes operations team as well. Okay, so they used to store this code in GitHub. Okay, and the next phase will be Jenkins. So we will integrate this GitHub with Jenkins. Okay, and once this what do you say, integration is done, the build will happen. Okay, so in the build section, like what did I say? Like Jenkins, it's already integrated with Maven. Okay, so I told you, right? For the building this application, we have one tool called Maven. So Jenkins, we have one default plugin in the Jenkins server itself. So that is nothing but Maven plugin. So Maven will do the build section. Okay, but whenever we build this code, we need one more what is it? Tool to save our var or jar files, right? That is Nexus. We call it as artifact management repository. Okay. Here in this section we have jar or var. Okay. Everything is fine. Okay, we got our output like jar or var. We need to deploy this jar or var. Where can we deploy this? Okay. We can deploy this in Ansible or Docker or AWS based in easy to machines, AWS based servers. Okay. Likewise, we need to deploy all these applications. Okay. So let's say, for example, all these tools should be integrated. Integrated in the sense, all these tools should be working in a phase by phase manner. What then who is going to integrate all these softwares? That is nothing but Jenkins. We'll call this as a Jenkins is a continuous integration server. Okay. Git is nothing but that's a source code repository management tool. We can use we can store our code. Okay. What Jenkins will do? Jenkins is a continuous integration tool. Maven is a build tool. To generate var or jar files. Okay, so so What is Docker? Suppose we developed our application, how to say, develop this application that we are trying to develop. So that is developed in Linux environment. Okay, it should be work, it should work in a Windows environment, Windows operating system as well, and it should work in Ubuntu as well. It should work in Mac, like MacBook, Sierra operating system as well. So for each and every what do you say operating system, we cannot take multiple servers, right? So for example, this in this laptop we have Windows operating system. We can test this application, if it is working on Windows server or not. But likewise, if you want to test this application in multiple environments like Linux or Ubuntu, each and every time it will be difficult for company organization to provide multiple servers. In that case, what they will do, they will ask us to install this Docker. Okay, Docker technology, how it works is like so. Okay, if you see this image here, these are all nothing but a container. Consider this is an what do you say, shipping yard. Okay, this is one ship which is carrying all the containers. Okay, in each and every container, what we'll do, we'll we'll transfer some goods. For example, in this container, some clothes will be transferred. In this some container, some vegetables will be transferred to different location. Okay, and likewise, in each and every what is it, container, we will store, we will transfer different goods. Likewise, in our environment, so in our application development environment, if we want to test multiple features on multiple what is it, separate environment, isolated environments, we use this container technology. Okay, in this technology we can test the Java based application. In this technology we can test the database related application. So we can isolate our applications, and if you want to test, suppose if your working application is working in Linux environment, you can use, you can create one Linux container and you can test it here. If it is work, if you want to check like if it is working in Windows environment, you can create one container. Okay, you can check here. So even for the deployment also, we can deploy our application in multiple containers. Okay, this is the concept of Docker. Okay, we can build, test, and deploy applications in multiple containers. Okay, we have what is it? 10 containers, so that's fine. We can use Docker. But what about hundreds and thousands? So we are all using Netflix application, right? Hundreds of thousands of application users will log in. So each and every time they cannot create separate isolate environment for each and every user. How they are doing it? They are using Kubernetes technology. For example, in Flipkart also, we have multiple sections like shopping and all. Okay, how they are segregating it? What is it? For clothes, they have a different section. For electronics, they have a different section. Okay, so how they are segregating it? They are using Kubernetes technology. Okay. It is a container orchestration tool. Orchestration is nothing but increasing the servers. Okay, so using this we can create increase number of servers. Okay, so once the application is deployed, as I told you, like we have some technologies called Nagios to monitor the application. Okay, so then what is Ansible? So for example, let's consider let's say like your organization, in your organization, one developer asked you to install one software like Java. Okay, suppose for one person, if we install Java in one system, it hardly takes 5 minutes. So if he wants to, if this Java should be developed in like 100 systems, the requirement is to install this Java in 100 systems. Okay, then what will happen? 100 into 5, 500 minutes. Okay, so we need to invest more people and much time and much, what is it? It will take months or days to install this Java in multiple systems. So we can overcome this trouble by using Ansible technology. In Ansible, okay, we can write a simple playbook, and we have one file called inventory file. In this inventory file, if we mention all the IP addresses of these systems, okay, these hundred systems, if we run this playbook, it will install Java in all systems, okay, all 100 systems within a minute. It won't even take a minute, okay. So Ansible is nothing but configuration management tool. So like this, whenever developer, whenever architect give plan to developers, they will write the code and they will build it. And what is it? Once the development is done, then test engineers will perform some testing, like functional testing or regression testing or unit testing. So they will identify the bugs and they will report it to developer. Once that is done, so this code should have some format, right? That format is nothing but uh, jar or var format. We can call it as artifact as well. So that jar we can deploy in our AWS or Docker or any server. And also operations, we have one more factor called operation. Okay, in operations, suppose the power application is very good, then we need to scale up servers, we need to increase it, we need to read. So this kind of activities we can do it in operations environment. Also, if you want to integrate any database, okay, if you need to, if you want to store some data, so all the database admin will do that. Okay, that even that will happen in operations environment. Once the deployment is done, like we need to monitor the application. Okay, so if it is working properly working or not. So even that can be done using Nagios. Okay, all these things, all this deployment procedure, in case of very big companies like Flipkart and Amazon, will happen in within a fraction of minutes. But in other organizations, like in service-based companies, suppose if we are doing this, if you are developing these applications like HDFC or SBI, so they will take some time. So what they will do is they will up to the staging environment, they will take some time, like a couple of days. And once the application is successful, they will successfully deploy this application in production environment. So this is what happened in DevOps environment. Okay. What is the time? Hello.
8:45.
Okay. So I think this is fine for the today's session. Already this introduction has been given to, like this demonstration has been given to the students, and I once again I explained this process to newcomers and students. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
Okay.
సో సుష్మిత నేను మీతో తర్వాత కనెక్ట్ అవుతానండి ఫర్ మోర్ క్లారిటీ.
Yeah, done. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Can I end the session?